No one is winning in Yemen, except perhaps Al-Qaeda, and now a newly emerging Islamic State. Last Wednesday, shopkeepers, electricians and ice sellers gathered in the mosque for evening prayers in this working-class neighbourhood. Then came the explosions. The first blast was a suicide bombing inside the mosque itself. The second bomb was hidden in a car outside. It was timed to detonate just as people came to help. The following morning, with blood stains still fresh on the street, children gathered round a plastic bag containing the remains of what was once someone's head. The bombing was carried out by the group that calls itself Islamic State in Yemen. The survivors wanted us to see inside the mosque. This country has long been on the front line of the battle with Al-Qaeda, but Islamic State is new here.
Easy.
Yeah, you can still smell it.
And see the clothes and the blood and
Bits of charred clothing and other personal belongings lie scattered amid the debris and the prayer books. In a country divided by war, this attack seemed calculated to deepen the sectarian rift.
أنا الحمد لله كنت أنا في هذه المنطقة في هذا المكان أنا موجود كنت أنا في هذه البقعة تماما عند ناس عندما اقتلبوا قلت يمكن معلش على أساس الركام لا ينطل ولا يعقب صاروخ ثاني.
The bomber had sat near the front of the congregation, his vest packed with ball bearings. This charred bit of carpet seems to be the epicenter of the blast. This must have been where the suicide bomber was sitting, because you can see all of the shrapnel marks flowing outwards along the carpet, up the pillars, up the walls, all the way up to the ceiling. At least 20 people were killed. This city is on edge, not least because of the additional threat of airstrikes. Everyone's pointing up because there's an aeroplane in the sky. A coalition led by the Saudi Air Force has been pounding Yemen for months in an attempt to retake the country from Houthi rebel control. They've had some success in the south, but as they advance, Al-Qaeda and Islamic State are exploiting the vacuum, and that is worrying the UN.
We are very concerned because we see already that Al-Qaeda, AKP, in the Arabian Peninsula was always a force in the south, and we've seen now again, particularly in southern Yemen, where the coalition-supported legitimate government has taken back the city of Aden and all the southern governorates.
As different militias clash, we've heard reports of AQAP picking up weapons dropped for the anti-Houthi alliance. Sources in Aden told us some of the more extreme members are thought to have split off to form Islamic State in Yemen. Both groups thrive in a state of lawlessness.
By ousting the Al-Houthi, what now we see is a serious breakdown of law and order, where many militias who were fighting together against the common enemy, now that the common enemy has been ousted, now they start fighting against each other. That is how, and Al-Qaeda is one of the important actors here.
For years, Western policy here has been to take the fight to AQAP inside its Yemeni fortress. The United States has operated an extensive drone program targeting its senior leadership. Yemen's military has received support and weapons to contain the group. But this new conflict has shifted the focus away from AQAP, which is considered Al-Qaeda's most dangerous franchise. In this context, Britain and America's support for the Saudi-led campaign here seems contradictory, even perverse. AQAP's avowed aim is to carry out attacks on the West, and it seems fair to assume that those members who've moved on to Islamic State will have similar priorities, and the war here seems to be advancing their cause. In the mosque in Sana'a, Hashim Sharif was lucky to escape with his life when the bomb went off just meters away. Explosions are a part of everyday life here now, whether from suicide bombings or from airstrikes. But in the minds of many, the perpetrators are becoming one and the same.
المال السعودي والأمريكي والسلاح الأمريكي هذا الذي بيحصلهم منهم. فعلبها ناس مجرمين يعني لا يخاف الله ولا رسوله.
In an increasingly complex Middle East, the old boundaries are becoming blurred. In supporting its ally, Saudi Arabia, the West now risks also strengthening its foe.